We have another update from a one-on-one that was done February of this year, and that veteran is now 100% PNT. I'm going to show you the results of what they were service connected for, what we recommended, and then the results that got that veteran to 100% PNT. Yes, I have their permission to share this, and there's no gimmick, there's no super secret trick or wording that you have to use. It's simply submitting evidence-based claims, and that is how veterans reach 100%. You aim to be properly rated. So anonymous, obviously, years of service. This first part here is this is a questionnaire, right? What are your years of service? I'm really looking for presumptive service. Now, deployments, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Boom, we know that PACT Act applies to this veteran. All right, make a mental note there. Prior to the meeting, I asked this veteran, hey, what are you currently service connected for? Now, this veteran has a ton of musculoskeletal conditions. I can tell you right off the bat, chronic pain is going to be a factor here. And they have a 76%, a bad 76 rounded to 80 with a pretty decent bilateral factor. So I know we have some room to wiggle around here. Now, this veteran was also denied for right hip, hearing loss, tinnitus, bronchitis, neck strain, all of these. I totally forgot why I put these in red. I have no idea. I assume it was either had evidence or they didn't have evidence. You can watch the one-on-one video. The full one-on-one that happened in February is going to be below in the pinned comments. And as the meeting goes on, I asked them saying, hey, tell me about this, tell me about that, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. And they had reported mental health here, so general anxiety and major depressive disorder, with a current diagnosis, a current treatment plan. And this veteran even had evidence for the Nexus for chronic pain. If I had to take a wild guess, it's probably due to this IVDS rating here at 40%. That is a pretty severe back condition. A 40% rated spine is much different than a 10 or 20%, and that's definitely going to inhibit your life a lot more, at least in my opinion. And so I was looking at that to start with. Diabetes, yep, got it. Cervical strain, this veteran talked about cervical strain, lacks the in-service events, but they wanted to comb their service treatment records to check on that because they kind of had some, they believed that it stemmed from there. And then, of course, foot conditions. Now, the recommendations here, and I'm going to go over the process as to how we find the recommendations, because this is what matters here. And green are basically, hey, here's what I think your easy claims are that you're going to win. Bada bing, bada boom, no big deal. And we have the presumptives down here, but that veteran lacked a diagnosis. And real quick, this is what he was service connected for, and here's the new rating. So this veteran received an increase on left and right radiculopathy from 10 to 20% because they had evidence showing moderate nerve damage. They got a cervical spine rating of 20%. That probably came from some left shoulder and then some left upper radiculopathy claims as well. So he got that. Scar at 10, chronic kidney disease at 0%. And then the banger here is mental health at 50% due secondary to chronic pain. That is an absolute winner, stellar of a claim. Now let's talk about these recommendations and how we get to that point. And it's a 5-step process. So fill out the questionnaire, years of service, deployments. That's really looking at all presumptives, not just PACT Act. Then we're looking at what are you service connected for and what have you been denied. Step 1, it's a 5-step process. Step 1 is the easiest step. It's looking for increases. Hey, I have radiculopathy at 10%. My evidence shows 20%. Easy peasy. Or I believe I rate 20%. Let me go get the evidence and submit that evidence-based claim. That's what increases are for. These are hands down the number one way veterans increase their overall rating is with increasing service-connected disabilities, because the service connection is the hard part. The percentage is the easy part, especially if you have documented symptoms, and I cannot stress that enough. Document your symptoms. It's not an option. It's not an option Go see your healthcare team, not just for healthcare purposes, that's important, but for evidence. So increases is going to be step 1. Step 2 is secondary VA claims. This veteran has mental health, secondary to chronic pain, tons of musculoskeletal conditions, obviously, but mainly stemming from that severe back condition. That is an absolute solid secondary claim. In fact, without mental health at 50%, that veteran would not be 100% P&T at all, not even close, actually. So yes, secondaries are real. You can win them. It's not just let me throw a private Nexus or a private DBQ at it. You have to get evidence. I want you to watch the full one-on-one video below. And that veteran talks about, hey, I've been speaking to my healthcare provider about my back and my mental health and how those are connected. The doctor will, your medical records will connect it for you, therefore making it easy. This veteran did not use a private Nexus or a private DBQ and got mental health connected secondary. It's a real thing. Okay. So secondaries are crucial. Look at what your service is connected for and then find out what secondaries could be linked and then go get the evidence for it. You can't just say that this, this condition stems from this condition. You have to have evidence backing that up so the nexus can be made, whether it's a CMP examiner or private provider. They both need evidence to make the nexus. Now, step 1 increases. Step 2 is secondaries. Step 3, and this one gets a bit difficult, is denials. Denials are very hard because 1, you're fighting service connection. That's difficult. And 2, it depends on why you were denied. Was it because you have no evidence from service? Was it because you did not have a current diagnosis? The current diagnosis is easy. The no evidence from service, not so much. That's very difficult, Or the third option is you had evidence from service that was kind of shaky at best. You had a current diagnosis, but then you lack the nexus. That's when I really start considering private nexus letters and private DBQs is for appeals. That's my personal opinion. You can do what you want, but denials are difficult. I tend to stay away from denials if the veteran can reach that goal of being 100% P&T. If not, then we got to aim to get properly rated, and we're going to have to fight some denials, and it sucks, to be honest with you. There's really no good way to cut that cake. Now, step 4. So step 1's increases. Step 2 is secondaries. Step 3 is denials. Step 4 are new conditions. Stop fighting blind. Request your C file, and I know that takes forever. Request your C file. You need it. Do not fight blind. If you jumped in a boxing ring and someone blindfolded you, you wouldn't want to be in that boxing ring. I wouldn't want to. That's what happens when you don't have your C file, when you're fighting a denial. And since you're fighting denials, you might as well get your C file. Boom, now you can look at all new conditions. Hey, I did complain about my cervical spine in 1994, okay? You wouldn't know that. You have to kind of accept the VA's word unless you have your records in front of you. That part is crucial. You got to get your records. Step 5 is the easiest, which are presumptives. Now, this veteran did not go the presumptive route. Had they not been 100% P&T, and we're talking back and forth today or yesterday, actually, that they did not go seek the diagnosis for bronchitis, sinusitis, rhinitis, or IBS. Any of those, they did not. That would have been my number 1, saying, hey, you're at 93%. Go get the diagnosis and go for presumptives. 100%, that would have been my advice there, because presumptive conditions are extremely easy. Super, super easy. And that's it. That's the 5 steps. That is how you maximize your VA disability rating. That's how you aim to be properly rated. And that's a living document. Some people are 100% P&T out of service. Some people take 10 years for conditions to develop and get worse to reach P&T. Some people never reach P&T because their conditions never develop to that standard. Now, a lot of those people just don't understand the 5-step process, and so they're definitely underrated, and that's an issue. Hopefully this video kind of stops that, and that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts. Seriously, Let me know your thoughts on what you think about the 5-step process: increases, secondaries, denials, new conditions, and presumptives. That's a mouthful. Let me know your thoughts and if you've used that to increase your rating.